There is an oil that costs $3 at any health food store in America that erases acne scars, the rolling depressions, the dark post-inflammatory marks, the textural craters, and the reddish-purple discolorations that dermatology clinics charge $800 to $3,000 per laser session to address without a laser, without a micro-needling device, and without a single clinical procedure. One bottle treats your entire face every night for 3 to 4 months. It works by penetrating the full thickness of the scar tissue itself and delivering a linoleic acid concentration so targeted that it directly dissolves the abnormal fibrous collagen bundles that form the structural base of every acne scar, while simultaneously stimulating the healthy collagen and melanin-regulating pathways that replace damaged tissue with smooth, even-toned skin from the inside out. West African traditional healers applied this oil to scarred skin for over 500 years. Researchers at the University of Illinois published a study in 1996 confirming that acne-prone skin is clinically deficient in this oil's primary active compound. A controlled clinical trial published in the Journal of Wound Care confirmed measurable scar flattening, reduced pigmentation intensity, and statistically significant improvements in scar texture after 8 weeks of twice-daily application. That trial was cited in subsequent scar research across 4 countries. The $4.7 billion acne scar treatment industry has never once mentioned it in a patient consultation brochure. They did not stop recommending this oil because it failed. They stopped because it worked too well. An oil that costs $3 and erases acne scars permanently cannot sustain a $1,200 fractional laser series. And what cannot sustain that series cannot sustain those practices. This is the story of the cheapest acne scar treatment ever documented in the industry that has been hiding it from you. If these stories matter to you, subscribe and hit the bell. This is where we dig up what the dermatology industry buried. Now let me take you back to where this story starts. The year is approximately 1400, and we are in the coastal trading communities of what is now Nigeria and Ghana. The Yoruba and Akan peoples, 2 of the most medically sophisticated civilizations in sub-Saharan Africa, are pressing the seeds of the rosehip's African cousin on a plant they call emu in some communities, and which botanists would later classify as Calophyllum inophyllum alongside the closely related Nigella sativa, black seed. The dark, dense oil that runs from those pressed seeds is being applied to skin injuries, burns, and the pitted scars left by skin infections, with an inconsistency that European traders documenting West African medical practices in the 15th and 16th centuries described with repeated astonishment. The healers were not applying it blindly. They were observing across generations of patients that scarred skin treated with this oil flattened, smoothed, and repigmented in ways that untreated scarred skin never did. The active compound responsible for every result those healers observed was linoleic acid, an omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acid, present at extraordinary concentrations in black seed oil, Nigella sativa, cold-pressed from the seeds of a flowering plant that has been growing across North Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia since before recorded history. The same oil described in the Hadith as a remedy for everything except death. The same oil found in the tomb of Tutankhamun. The same oil that Ibn Sina prescribed in the canon of medicine for skin conditions and tissue healing in the 11th century. And the same oil sitting on a health food store shelf right now for $3 waiting for the conversation the dermatology industry has spent decades refusing to have. Here's exactly what an acne scar is and why this oil erases it. When a deep or inflamed acne lesion damages the dermis, the skin's repair mechanism responds by laying down collagen to close the wound. But the collagen deposited in scar repair is structurally different from the collagen in healthy, unwounded skin. Healthy dermal collagen is laid down in a basket weave pattern, interlocking fibers running in multiple directions that create a smooth, flexible, resilient surface. Scar collagen is deposited in parallel bundles, rigid cross-linked fibers aligned in a single direction that create the firm, depressed, or raised texture visible on the surface as a scar. The dark post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation that accompanies acne scarring, the flat brown and purple marks that can persist for years, is caused by the overactivation of melanocytes in the damage zone during the inflammatory phase of healing. Melanocytes produce excess melanin as a protective response to inflammation, and that melanin deposits in the dermis, where it remains long after the inflammation resolves. Black seed oil addresses both mechanisms simultaneously. The 1996 University of Illinois study confirmed that the sebum of acne-prone skin is clinically deficient in linoleic acid compared to clear skin. That deficiency matters because linoleic acid is the primary fatty acid signal that regulates keratinocyte differentiation in the follicular wall. When it is absent, the follicle wall thickens abnormally, blocks the pore, and creates the comedonal environment that drives deep inflammatory acne and the scarring it produces. Topical application of linoleic acid-rich black seed oil restores this signal, normalizing follicular behavior and simultaneously delivering the fatty acid substrate that fibroblasts need to remodel scar collagen from its parallel bundle structure back toward a basket weave architecture. At the same time, semiquinone, the most pharmacologically active compound in black seed oil, directly inhibits the tyrosinase enzyme responsible for melanin overproduction in post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, clearing the dark discoloration from the dermis without the irritation or photosensitivity that synthetic tyrosinase inhibitors produce. The Journal of Wound Care trial measured both mechanisms in treated patients. The scar tissue group showed statistically significant improvements in scar height, surface texture, and pigmentation intensity at 8 weeks of twice-daily application, with the most dramatic results in rolling and boxcar scar morphology, the two types that respond worst to topical treatments generally. One oil, two simultaneous mechanisms, 3D dealers. Before I go further, I need to stop here because what you have just learned is one chapter of a document the dermatology and plastic surgery industry has been keeping out of your hands for decades. Everything they buried is inside the complete health vault. The scar massage protocol, documented in plastic surgery rehabilitation research, that physically breaks down the fibrous adhesions anchoring depressed acne scars to the subcutaneous tissue below. The structural tethering that holds scar depressions in place even after the surface skin has recovered, using nothing but 2 minutes of fingertip pressure in a specific cross-friction sequence each night before oil application. The dietary anti-inflammatory protocol that reduces the systemic prostaglandin cascade driving post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation from the inside, addressing the melanin overproduction that topical treatment alone cannot fully resolve without dietary support. The vitamin C co-application method that increases thymoquinone's tyrosinase inhibition activity by 40% when the two compounds are layered in sequence, turning a $3 bottle into a clinical-grade pigmentation treatment at zero additional meaningful cost. In the complete black seed oil scar protocol from this video with exact quantities, application sequences for different scar morphologies, and a 90-day tissue remodeling timeline. Over 10 additional guides in one vault, no filler, straight to the point. The link is in the description, first line, but stay right here because what the plastic surgery industry has done to suppress this knowledge is the part of this story they most need you to never hear. The global acne scar treatment market was valued at $4.7 billion in 2023. Fractional laser resurfacing, the current gold standard for atrophic acne scarring, averages $1,000 to $3,000 per session, with 3 to 6 sessions typically recommended for significant improvement. Microneedling with radiofrequency averages $700 to $1,500 per session. Chemical peels targeting post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation average $150 to $300 per session, with monthly maintenance recommended. The average patient undergoing a full acne scar treatment course spends between $3 and $15,000 before achieving the textural and pigmentation improvements the industry describes as significant. You cannot patent the thymoquinone and linoleic acid composition of Nigella sativa. The black seed plant has been producing both compounds in its seeds since before the pharaohs buried a bottle of its oil in a royal tomb. You cannot build a 6-session laser series billing cycle around a $3 bottle that a patient applies at home twice daily for 3 months. You cannot fill micro-needling suite appointments with patients whose scar tissue is actively remodeling from the inside through a fatty acid and thymoquinone mechanism that requires no device, no numbing cream, and no recovery period. The acne scar industry is not expensive because scar reversal is complicated. It is expensive because access to the simple chemistry that drives scar reversal has been systematically removed from every consultation, every training manual, and every consumer-facing publication the industry controls. And the oil sitting in Tutankhamun's tomb 3,000 years ago is still $3 on a shelf near you today. If you have made it this far, you already know more about acne scar biology than 99% of the patients booking their first laser consultation this week. Subscribe and share this with someone who deserves to stop being quoted thousands of dollars for a problem that pressed black seeds have been solving since the age of the pharaohs. Now here is exactly what to do. Go to any health food store or online natural retailer and purchase 100% pure cold-pressed black seed oil sold as Nigella sativa oil or black cumin seed oil. The label must say cold-pressed and list Nigella sativa as the only ingredient. A 100 ml bottle costs between $3 and $7 and contains enough oil for 3 to 4 months of twice daily full-face scar treatment. Every morning and every evening after cleansing, apply 2 to 3 drops of black seed oil directly to your fingertips and press the oil firmly into the scarred areas. Rolling scars, boxcar craters, raised hypertrophic marks, and flat hyperpigmented patches, holding gentle but firm pressure for 10 seconds per zone. For depressed atrophic scars, use your ring finger to press directly into the depression and hold for a full 20 seconds, encouraging the oil to penetrate through the base of the scar where the fibrous collagen bundles are anchored. For flat post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation marks, apply 1 additional drop directly to each mark and tap in with light circular motions for 30 seconds to maximize thymoquinone contact time with the melanin-producing zone. Use it twice daily without exception. Morning application delivers the linoleic acid signal to follicular walls before the day's sebum production begins, and evening application supports the overnight tissue remodeling window when fibroblast activity peaks. Allow 30 days before evaluating pigmentation changes. Allow 60 days before evaluating textural improvement. Allow 90 days for full assessment of depressed scar flattening. The collagen remodeling process that raises atrophic scars is the slowest of the 3 mechanisms and requires consistent twice-daily application across the full 90-day tissue turnover cycle to produce its most significant results. A 29-year-old woman in Cairo had lived with rolling acne scars across both cheeks for 7 years, following a severe cystic acne episode in her early 20s. 3 months of twice-daily black seed oil application later, her dermatologist at a routine checkup commented, without prompting, that her skin texture had changed noticeably and asked what she had done differently. She had done one thing differently: 2 drops of cold-pressed Nigella sativa oil twice a day every day for 90 days. Her total cost was $6. Ibn Sina prescribed this oil for skin tissue healing in the 11th century. The pharaohs and embalmers considered it important enough to place beside a king for eternity. West African healers applied it to scarred skin for 500 years and watched the tissue respond in ways that nothing else in their medical tradition produced. And a peer-reviewed journal confirmed every single one of their observations in a controlled clinical trial with measurable outcomes that any plastic surgeon can read right now. This knowledge was never wrong. It was simply priced out of your awareness by a $4.7 billion industry that needed your scars to be a problem only their laser suite could solve. Your scars are not permanent. They never were. The fibroblasts inside them have always been capable of remodeling what inflammation damaged. They were simply never given the linoleic acid signal and the thymoquinone guidance that a $3 bottle delivers twice a day. That bottle is on the shelf. It has always been on the shelf. If this information opens something for you today, subscribe and share it with everyone you know who has ever been quoted a laser price for scars that pressed black seeds have been erasing since before the first clinic existed. Every share keeps this knowledge alive. The next investigation opens soon, and what the dermatology industry buried inside, that one goes even deeper. If this story changed the way you look at the simple remedies sitting on your store shelves, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the medical history they tried to keep hidden. Let's reclaim our health together. The next treasure of knowledge will be revealed soon.